I am a member of a new age, a new ways. I've overcome petty prejudice. Oh, in my ultimate allegiance, not to nations, but to my fellow men within the human community. That was the utterance of His Imperial Majesty. And even though I can be stubborn, I'm following protocol with humility. I am a member of a new race, a new race. Greetings, family. Rebel leader, vegan advocate representing once again, and how good and how pleasant it is for us to share this moment in time, A lot going on right now, family, and hence why I'm even here at this moment, I would like to introduce to some that I reckon all of us can benefit from in some way, shape or form, especially in this time of high stress, plus some of us, our lifestyle, full of stress and all these things. This energy management system, for me is what they call Qigong, or another form is Tai Chi. I've been dabbling, I put it that way, with Qigong for a while. Over a decade now. I got introduced to it when I was going through a lot of stress in my life. Going through the passing of my mom from cancer. Went through, was in the midst of a divorce at that point. And so far on my journey, those two challenges, or be it initiations, they were rough. They were very, very rough. Even as a child, I couldn't see myself living without my mom. And as an adult, I couldn't see it as well. So to live with the reality, that was a lot for me, because my mom was all I had. She's all I have. So it was very challenging, to say the least. But out of the darkness come forth light, and hope I can, someone can get some light from this darkness that we're going to go into now. So with everything that's going on in the world, I don't really take on to those things, anymore for a while now. To be honest, for about a decade now, like full on. I'm not really a mainstream media type of person, all of that. My spirit, my soul is more intrigued by, out of the box thinking, alternative knowledge, right knowledge, different kind of knowledge. Because from I was going to infant school, we have this little thing that said Humpty Dumpty sat up on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, all the king horses, all the king men, could never put Humpty together again. So I think it's our journey to find that Humpty Dumpty, find those little pieces or those journey that we go through, those memories, be it good or bad, you know, those are little Humpty Dumpties where we need to use maturity and growth and work through these things and get a more pleasing outcome for self and kind. Yeah, so with everything going on, it's like I have friends and ones asking me, yo Reb, what's going on? You know, what you think about this? And this and this and you know? And you know, this thing I will go on to China and the whole other something there, and you know, people are pre-Chinese people and thing. So I strongly advocate for getting the best or getting a positive out of a so-called negative situation. And right now there's a negative light that's shown on China at the moment, you know, Asian brothers and sisters, because we are all one people. So the Asians is all a part of the Humpty Dumpty bit. You get what I say? You know, we think we are different nations, true, we all over the world, but together, you know, if we really check it, we're one people, you know. Mitochondrial DNA prove that. So I'm trying to see if we can get a positive out of a negative. So we have, you know, a lot of things personally I don't see eye to eye with the Chinese people and thing. You know, I know for a fact enough of them use animal in them thing. That's from Jamaica as a youth, you know, and nothing new. You know, when I judge them, none of that. See these things for real. So way past all of them look a conspiracy theory there. And enough look a thing. But Qigong, you know, Tai Chi, you know, certain forms of yoga and all these things. Qigong has been preserved by the Chinese for centuries now, dynasties after dynasties. And I think Qigong is a way for especially people in the Western world. You know, Qigong is a thing that ones can use, or is a frame of mind. It's a, I don't know exactly how to define Qigong in just one little sentence right now. But this Qigong energy management system, I'll try and define it like that. Qigong is an energy management system where you manage your energy, which is, you know, your blood and stuff like that. But I'm utilizing Qigong, you know, even as a Rasta man, kind of one say, Ras, what I'm to you with this yin and this yang, and what I'm to you, blood? You know, what I'm to you, cuz what's going on? So yeah, you know, it's one of them ones. It's one of them ones, because it's just a principle. You know, that's just the Chinese definition of it. If we go, you know, in Africa. Well, I think the Qigong or the yin and the yang is just representative of parallel, of like the right hand, the left hand. You get what I'm saying? That's what yin and yang represent. So enough time I have to break it down with them. And if you want to go more in deep Africa, we could say Shu or Tefnut. Just two other names again, you know? We can't say day or night. We can't say mother, father, because it's just the masculine and the feminine energy. You know, that's basically what yin and yang is. So, kudos to the Chinese people for preserving Qigong, especially for I. And, you know, a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding the Chinese thing right now, but maximum respect to the Chinese, yeah, for Qigong, personally for Qigong, and seaweed, yeah, good seaweed. Yeah, so respect for that. So we're gonna try and use Qigong. I think that's have helped me personally for the past 10 years to reach to where I'm at now, you know. few days ago I did some video clips doing some exercise. That's one of the main reasons why I'm here now. Some Qigong exercise, energy management exercise, some warm up and everything. Share with a couple of friends because everybody now more health conscious, you know, things for the lungs. And it was even picked up on by Cleveland Hospital in the USA. You know, because everyone is looking for alternative way because, you know, the current system ain't working. If it was working, you know, there wouldn't be so much confusion in the world right now. A simple thing that's gonna help all of us through this and any of life challenges is breathing, proper breathing. And that's one of the things with this Qigong. It's all about proper breathing from abdomen. Yeah? Qigong helped me. Qigong had worked for me for, yeah, it helped me through a lot of things. A lot of things. So I was kind of, what would I say now? Encouraged, you know, or asked by individuals to do a few more videos surrounding Qigong and everything. And so I'm trying to kind of getting it together. Hope I'm not all over the place, but yeah. So now, I think, as I said, the breathing is one of the things that's going to help us through this so-called pandemic and other personal things that we're going through, because it helped me. I share a situation. The first time I utilized Qigong, and I thought Qigong worked for me like seriously, was about 10 years ago. I was going through a separation / divorce, right? And you know, it just started in that divorce part. You know, a lot of us probably can relate to it. You know, masculine and feminine energy all over the place, emotionality high, you know, justification high, all of that. You know, husband down, wife throat, wife down. We know them kind of things. So I was going through one of them things because, you know, it's not something that wanted to happen, you know what I'm saying? And it was a experience or a plus experience, you know, because I learned from it. So it has to be a plus experience. I can't exit out. I have to put a plus next to it. You get me? So it was a plus experience that, you know, I don't really wish on anyone unless it's for their spiritual growth. Yeah? Because that's what we're here to do. Grow spiritually. It's not to make money and all these things. That's what we're here on earth to do. But anyway, so I was taught Qigong, you know, by a brother named Tautimu Kasara. Yeah. And I was intrigued by it, just like probably some of you are going to be intrigued by this, to say, a black man, Qigong, Chinese, how does that work? So that was one of the first thing. And the second thing that intrigued me was, these are exercises that we don't really have to do too much with. We don't need a lot of space, you know. The master teacher told me that when he was learning, he was literally in the storeroom of a restaurant, you know, a cramped little space where, you know, go only get your palms out. And in theory, in Qigong, this is the more space you need to do most of these exercises, you know, the shoulder width apart, arm's length and everything. So I was intrigued by it. The first week I started, it was yeah, I can't really forget. Yeah, it was good. Got introduced to, you know, a different train of thought, and got introduced to the importance of breathing, and that Qigong is 70-80% breathing. And I further learned that when you're in control of your breathing pattern and your breath, you're in control of you. Yeah, so first week it was good. I got introduced to that. I'm saying, you know, but some of the things I didn't really get them. They was over my head like a turban. But it's like they resonated. So I kept going back. And it was it was like a surreal plus experience where, you know, at that same time I was just going through that divorce thing as I'm telling you. And it's like every week, because class used to keep on a Monday. Yeah, why a Monday? Because according to the whole system, and you know, Taotimu is a part of the Asaro set society. Who knows? The Assyrians, you know, so proper African centered knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So a part of the whole mix is each day, you know, be it Monday to Sunday, is governed by a different deity or a different energy. And Monday is governed by Oset, which in certain sacred teachings, Oset is the nurturer, you know, is the mother of our will, you know. So Monday was the day. So as I'm telling about this thing being surreal, right? So now I've been every week I go, you know, to class, learning the whole thing, find it interesting, not really getting everything, but you know, it's resonating, and I'm, you know, think I should keep going back. Every week I go is like, you know, in class the tutor would share certain things, and I'm saying, what? I wonder if I mean my train word pan type of thing, you know. Is he talking to me? Does he know where I'm going? Type of thing. And, you know, I think probably he knew a little bit, but the things were so spot on. So this is when I know that Qigong is the thing. You know, cause I grew up with football and track and field and all of them things. But literally in a real life, I was kind of good at them. Didn't reach, you know, out there because, you know, but this is when I knew that Qigong is a thing. The first few weeks was all about learning about, you know, the breathing, learning about your organs and their functions and certain things like that. So breathing and meditation was our first lessons. And I think with meditation is visualization. And for a few weeks in, the tutors like gave us a task. Tutor gave us a task, Taotimu gave us a task and said, no, when you find one of the most stressful situation that you're going through in your personal life, right? And we're going to use the breathing and the breath to change the outcome. So, well, say, all right, this is how we're going to do it. Go in a meditational trance, you know, go in a meditation, you know, by rhythmic breathing. We're going to do some of that in a little while. And when you're in a meditation, you visualize yourself in that situation that normally gets you upset or that you don't like. So that thing was for me at the time was what I was going through with my divorce, and every time, me and the Empress always like down each other throats, because obviously we emotional and all of that thing, and then the youth them in the mix and probably over your conversation, and I didn't really like that. That was digging away at me, but I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it at the time, because I probably lack of knowledge, I would say. So I visualize myself in that situation now, and it says start visualizing it, do it as many times as possible. Visualize yourself in the situation, visualize the outcome that you want to see, if she says something you don't like, basically, you don't, just don't say nothing, just love it, don't feed the energy. So if you normally let you flip, calm down yourself. Okay. So, visualize, trying it. Failed about 3 times. In a sense where I'm saying, yeah, I've got this now, like the first time. I have this luck. Boom, 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 situation, figure pick up, pick up my youth, or something they go on with the youth at school, and it was one bag of goo gaga, so to speak. And all of the visualization we did was 2 weeks, as we was good for 2 weeks, within that time. So we never have no little disagreement, and we visualized, and I was so confident that, yeah, I can really do this now. She can't get under my skin, I've got this luck. And that's one phone call, and I lost it. Well, she lost it, and it was like, I failed, because I fed the energy by reacting. Even if I think or thought I was justified by reacting, I failed the initiation. I failed again, and I failed again. And the day when I actually did it, I said, wow. Wow. And then afterwards, the energy just kept coming. So situation just keep popping up at random that would, get me in that frame of mind and get me to react certain way, and I kept bobbing and weaving, bobbing and weaving. Probably a couple months down the road, me lose it at one time, or quarter the way, or nearly lose it, so it was like that until I totally overcame the whole situation, till, at the moment, my ex-wife is one of my best friends, and she still have her ways, and probably me still have my ways, but it don't affect me, because the breathing, the breath. And one of the things that I learned as well is that the breath is responsible for our emotions, in a sense where if we notice a person that's angry within a moment, and these things, do the research, check it on your own self, look back into your own life. I know enough of you can agree, because this is things I've been sharing for a while here, there, and a lot of people have benefited and say, yeah. So, and I know for me as well. So most of these things is my own personal connection with Qigong, and why I'm doing this, and planning to do a Qigong series, with a few things that I think, ones and ones can benefit from. So managing the breath, and to know that the breath is the most important thing. Breath, our breath and our blood are the most important thing. Let's say my breath, my blood, yeah? And I think as a collective, that's the things we should focus on. And the lesson was, when a person is angry, they can't even help it. They have to have short breaths, you know. You know, say, come on, you think my player have to be. So, do the research for your person. Check or remember back at any time you got angry and check your breathing pattern. Or from now on, check your breathing pattern and see. And then you can let me know, you know, if that's a fact. But the breathing is good. Great. The breath slows down the brainwave. So that's another thing which is very important. Some of us are overthinkers and all these things. So for me, Qigong is the way forward. You know? And I know the family is gonna benefit from these few bits. You know what I'm saying? Are gonna benefit from all these bits. So let's just share a bit of the breathing principle and a bit of meditation, because meditation is, oh man, I think meditation is one of the best things ever in the world, you know, and in the inner world as well. I'm telling you, meditation is, you know, it probably sounds scary, it probably take a while, because it took me a while. The meditation, the breathing, the whole thing. So I have to share some of these things with the family. So now I can sit like this for a little while without fidgeting type of thing, and do a good repetition of breathing, you know, whatever, 20, 50, whatever. But when I just started, kept scratching, and the thing is with breathing, or the thing with meditation, you go in to meditation with a objective. Okay? So we're gonna do it the same way that I was taught. So I want all of us to focus on the most challenging situation in our life. Probably most of us is gonna say is this pandemic. Even if that's what it is, let's focus on this. And one could probably see in meditation as, you know, initially lying to your person, but I see meditation as creating my own reality, you know. But so not because something hasn't been done before or it wasn't thought about before, that doesn't make it impossible, you know. So our imagination is one of the most powerful tools. Our mind is the most powerful tool we have physically in you know, in this realm. So I encourage ones and ones to look into meditation. You know, I know a lot of people is on it, you know, but meditation will help. So we're gonna focus, do a little bit of meditation, you know, and see how it helps. But first, I want to introduce you to abdominal, for those who don't know, abdominal breathing, right? And abdominal breathing is from your, what they call, the Chinese call your dantian, right? Or your lower dantian, which is 1 inch below your navel, 1 inch in. That's your lower dantian. You know, that's where like the root chakra is, you know, because you know we are frequency beings, you know, even this is vibrating at a certain frequency, hence why we can see it. If it was vibrating on a frequency that's faster than the speed of light, it would be impossible, we couldn't see it. It is that simple. So everything is energy, frequency. That's what it is. So we're going to focus on some abdominal breathing, you know, get into the practicing, because to move forward with what we're going to dub as martial law quarantine Qigong exercise series, we have to first learn the breathing patterns, the breathing technique, and be able to do them effectively before we move on, so we won't be thinking on too much things. Because for one, if we start going into certain exercise, especially for a beginner, and you have to be focusing on the breath, which you just got introduced to, and then you have to be focusing on the movement, which you're just trying to work out, you know, it's too much. And one thing I'm going to do for a lot of ones, a lot of lay people like my person, I'm going to try and keep things as bit simple as possible. And I've learned the hard way in a lot of these things. You know, there was a lot of us studying, a lot of people drop out, couldn't get it. Even ones that, you know, thought was more intellectual than I, more Afrocentric than I. Enough of these things. So these things is all about resonance, but I learned it my way, the hard way, and this is just my interpretation of Qigong and what I've picked up, you know, over the time. So the breath is the most important thing. And please, I'm starting this movement. Please keep me encouraged by subscribing to the channel, especially if you like what's going on, so we can keep things moving. So now we're going to focus on the abdominal breathing. So with this breathing, it's done in counts. And a standard basic one to rejuvenate the body and everything is 4 count in, 4 count out. So 4 count in, 4 count out. So, as I said, the focus, and most of the things with Qigong and all of these things is visualization and focusing. We can't see energy. You get what I'm saying? We can't see the current, but it's there, we can't see it. So not because we can't see it, that don't mean it's not here, it's not going on. I'm in this space within this moment in time. There can be a lot of things going on that's processing faster than the speed of light. And because I can't see it, yeah, I'm not processing at that frequency, I'm not in that reality. But I'm interconnected to it. Does that make sense? So Qigong is I could even say a spiritual movement. Chinese people is a part of their levity to the Qigong. And a lot of people have a problem with Chinese people and the politics that's going on with them. But the work ethics, in terms of Qigong, they're probably using the tool for physical benefit or material wealth and thing, but that judgment is between there and the maker. You know, I didn't make that. You get what I'm saying? So, but, you know, I haven't been to China in a physical form. I have ones and ones who've been there, lived there, all of these things. And it's It's a standard procedure. Chinese people every morning doing the workout. You know what I'm saying? Doing the thing before work, after work, whenever, whatever. That's why they're so productive. Because the life force. And that's another thing. Qigong. You know? C-H-I, Qi, which means life in their interpretation. And Gong, G-O-N-G, means force. So they represent life force, and in our physical being, it's like, for me, my interpretation, it's our blood. Yeah? Most disease, not all is blood related. Most of the little ailments, if we keep our blood clean by purifying them, you know, purifying the kidneys, the lungs, the liver, everything, things won't be that bad. You know, so that's what it is. So the mindset and everything, it's like an introvert thing. Yeah? So introvert in terms of if your focus is mostly on internal work, you would close your eyes. Obviously when you're meditating and such, you close your eyes because it's visualization and it's meditating. It's introvert, so you close your eyes. When you're doing certain active things, you would open it fully or you half mask it. But for now, we're going to close our eyes because we're going to work and our breathing. We're going to practice our breathing. So, as I said, POC, belly breathing, as some people would call it. You know, abdominal breathing. You know, even when I started learning about this thing in terms of the correct way of breathing, is like, seriously? Because most of the time, when I breathe, it's like, you know, up at the chest and all these things. It's like, so the thing is, the breath. The air, the thing that is so important that we can't see, the thing that we can't see but we can't live without. You know, I was saying surely there is people called breatharians. And these breatharians, a lot of them don't eat. You know, for some, I think one such person didn't eat for over a decade. You know? One person didn't eat for over a decade. And people eat for various times. A lot of times going. So breatharians, the breath is food itself. You know? The breath, we need the breath for so much things. We need the breath to oxygenate our brain, our blood, everything. For clarity, for well-being, everything. So if we focus on the breath, if you can manage the breath, let's put it this way. Let this be one of our mantra. If we can manage the breath, we can manage life.